Now, before we begin, we have to make this clear. This is a pop vinyl. This is a Jazwares vinyl. This actually looks like the character. This looks like her soul has been ripped out. So, now that we're clear on that, we can begin. When I showed off the stuff I got for Christmas, I was actually really surprised that out of everything that I showed, the thing that people wanted me to review the most were the RWBY vinyls that I had gotten. Sure. Okay, we can do that. That's no problem. These things are all over the place, and I'm sure a lot of people are curious about their quality, considering most of what people have as far as big-headed vinyl figures is pop vinyl, and that's not the most fair metric to have when it comes to vinyl collectibles. So I will give you a look at Jazwares' take on the RWBY cast, and of course we start with Ruby Rose herself. This, I will tell you right now, this is way heavier than a pop vinyl. Like, it actually feels like there's a solid amount of plastic in the head itself. It is dense. And yeah, this is only going to get more apparent as we go on. Ruby herself done up extremely well. So her design carries a lot of ribbons and ties across not only a corset but also down her boots, which means a lot of little detail lines that have to be covered, and all of them are accounted for, as is the trim around her dress. Her combat skirt, battle skirt. I love how many little touches they remembered. A little bit of red around the cuffs, hands done up, of course, in the different flesh tone, and then, of course, her signature weapon, as small as you will ever see it. Her sickle would probably double the price of this toy if she actually had it full size. It's actually kind of neat seeing it in a more easily managed shape. All the detailing is there, the necessary stuff anyway. Painted rather well, all the colors represented. This is quite nice. Now, detailing wise, there's also a few other things. Of course, the face being exceptionally important. Silver eyes. That's such an important thing. Minor spoilers. That's important, but it's good that they have them in. There's a lot of layers to the tampograph in order to get that many shades going, so that's very, very nice to see. I also like the airbrushing on her hair. Very, very subtle, blends very, very nicely. Exceptionally well done. If you cannot tell, I'm kind of impressed. The neck is about the only rotation you get, and of course it's very, very minor. She's really meant to only serve in one pose. I'll give you a look at the back too, just in case you're curious. It's just the cape. And yeah, for balance, no stand needed. Her boots are nice and big, so she stands pretty well, even on this wonky little surface that I cobbled together myself out of plastic tiles. She does pretty well all the way around. So, that's one down. Who would go to now? I think her sister is next up. That would be Yang. This is where we kind of get into like a value for weight thing going on, because that hair, my God, that hair. I mean, you rotate it around to put sunglasses on it, and it's Cousin It from the Addams Family. It's two figures in one. Or it's like the end of a mop. If you just stick a stick on top of her. It's still absolutely massive amount of plastic to get the hair right. And again, that's solid. So yeah, just for clarification, I'll bring Chell back in here really quick. Let's actually do a little test. A little bit of hollowness to it, you can hear. It's a heavy thud. That's the same heavy thud. Okay, so just to be clear, yeah, you're getting a lot more. Like, these are about $4 more than your standard pop vinyl. You're getting so much more plastic content out of this. These feel nice, solid, and heavy, and extremely well constructed. Very weighty in my hands, even. Again, face tampographed well. You got a smirk going on just like you did with RWBY. That's pretty much going to be the thing they go with here. Purple eyes this time, again, done up with lots of layers of tampograph to make sure it's all correct. Even a very small trace of the eyebrows in there. That's such a tiny little detail. They got it, though. I appreciate that. Her suit done up very, very nicely. All the browns and oranges are correct in their location. Little tiny spots of red around the wrist. Tiny, tiny details. And I'll tell you right now, you'll never see them, but they're done on the backside too. Luckily, her gauntlets are about as correct size as they could be in this one. You'll excuse me as I never could remember the name of the weapons. They just don't say them often enough in the show. But yeah, once again, done up with a lot of the appropriate details. Season 1 costumes, just in case you were curious. But yeah, a little bit of purple there for the band. Everything, just so many little layers here. And I know Pop Vinyl tends to get a lot of these little details like that. Look at that little tiny tambo. But yeah, I'm exceptionally surprised when another company puts in so much detail and effort into this. Definitely the right company to go with as far as these go. And yeah, again, nothing really in posability. The neck doesn't really rotate, and with that hair, there's not a whole lot you could do with it anyway. So, yeah, Yang does a pretty good job. So, we're going to move on now to Blake. And the first thing I was curious about this one, the very first thing I had to check, cat ears. Are they in the bow or behind the bow? Put your answers in now. They are in the bow. No cat ears visible on the toy. So, again, we are dealing with this huge hair thing, which I think actually tripods them in a way that makes them bend forward a little bit. It's just this weird thing I kind of noticed a little bit, and maybe I'm off, maybe that is just how they are intentionally sculpted, but they seem to lean forward, just based on how long the hair is. But, it's still sturdy. It tripods them. It makes them much more susceptible to shaking or anything getting hit. Nothing drops these guys down. I am sorry for headphone users. I'm banging the desk a lot intentionally for this review. I feel it's necessary. I do apologize. But the toy itself, again, very solid. We have gold eyes now. Again, very well done. Everything done up with all the loving care and detail that they possibly could. Again, with a smirk. And now with her signature weapon, the sword/gun. Very Final Fantasy VIII of you. And again, little tiny tachographs to get the little bitty details. And again, we see the airbrushing with the pants going from black to purple. And little tiny details with the little buttons there on the boot, as well as all of the cuffs around the wrist. There's a little bit of overspray going on some of these. It's nothing terrible, though. Nothing that is egregious or deal-breaking in any way. Still looks very, very nice. And I love the sculpting going on here. Look at all the flowing hair going on. I mean, there's layers to this toy that are so unnecessary. Like we've seen with Pop Vinyls, just how easy it is to make something very cheap looking and very just kind of, this is just this cutesy little aesthetic we're going with. It's so easy to just knock that off, but there's extra levels here. The head does have a little bit more motion here. You can give her a little bit more of a subtle pose if you want to, with the gun forward, or maybe put the hand forward a little bit, just in case. Yeah, but a little bit of work there, but still, it's meant for one static pose. So again, very, very solid, very, very dense. Yeah, getting a lot more plastic quantity and a lot more detail, I think, than a Pop Vinyl out of these. So I can definitely see the added price. And that only leaves Weiss. And I leave her for last, not because she's my least favorite. Her character has grown on me quite a bit since her first introduction. But because out of the 4, something went wrong with Weiss. And it's kind of unfortunate. So we're going to go ahead and just look at her in her standard position. And again, she looks just fine compared to the others. She looks like Weiss. She has all the details. She has the smirk going on, ice blue eyes, and beautiful white dress. It doesn't allow for as much coloring as the rest, but what's there is done well. The silver around her shoes, as well as her weapon. A little bit of red just visible right there in the collar. And so subtly detailed that it's very hard for me to even get a shot of it in the light. There we go, a little bit of red there. So all the detailing there is right, and there is a little bit of airbrushing to give her hair a little bit of depth and shadow to it, so it doesn't just look like just stark white. So a lot of good things going on. Just like the others, there's a lot of nice detail. Also, as I've just now noticed, she's about the only one where you're actually going to notice ears. I don't know why that just sprung out to me as I looked at all 4 of these, but it did. So there you go. But what gets me to her, and I'll go ahead and show off the back of her design too, since she doesn't have hair in the way. And again, tiny little details have been remembered. You can see her little crest there on the back. Very, very tiny details, little tiny moldings around the sleeves. No. The reason I save her for last is something went wrong in her design, because she's got this huge ponytail, and just like the others, it's all super solid vinyl in the hair. But it does create a very, very small footprint that does make her very unbalanced. See, aside from just having hair design that goes off to the side, which makes it difficult to balance her, she's also the only one with feet that are together. If you look at all of the others, the feet are spread apart, which gives them a wide base in order to balance them better. Hers are focused on one point, and her heel is molded to go up, which means she has a very, very small footprint, and that just means that tiny little speck, that little spike of hair is what she has to balance on in order to keep balance. And sometimes you can get her to stand, and other times not so much. If like her body's pointed forward like the others, it's actually kind of difficult to get her to keep standing. And this, luckily, is cooperating with me for now, but generally she does not like to stand up nearly as well as the rest, and you can see she teeters extremely, extremely easily. Normally I have to keep her bent in such a way that it actually improves her balance. It does make her pose a little bit funny, but on the upside, she has plenty of room for her head to move around, so you have that option. But yeah, I don't know, the sculpting matches her. The pose matches her. I don't think it was the best pose for actual practicality or existing in a world where physics is a thing. So unfortunately, she turns up the lowest of the 4 just because she just a little bit of poorly thought design there. But that is the vinyl RWBY figures from Jazwares. I think Rooster Teeth picked well here. They are a very nice representation, very affordable price, and way better than your standard pop vinyl. The detail works better, they're far more solid, and they don't look dead, which is a huge plus for me when it comes to any action figure or toy representation of a character that I would like to collect. Yeah, I'm fine recommending these, and hopefully we get more of the cast down the line, because plenty more in the cast, and hopefully none of them have her balance issues.